Good afternoon. I'd like to welcome everyone to this hybrid meeting of the Children and Families Overview and Scrutiny Committee, which is open to the press and public. The meeting is being broadcast live, and a recording of this meeting will be made available as soon as possible after the meeting is concluded. We welcome the use of the Welsh language at meetings, but I've had no requests for people to speak Welsh today, so this meeting will be conducted in English only. Please can members refrain from using the chat function and instead use the raised hand icon to indicate when you want to speak. Please remember to keep your microphone muted when you are not talking. Please do not interrupt discussions until you have notified of your intention to speak and you've been invited to do so. Moving on to the agenda. Number 1, welcome introductions and apologies. First, may I welcome all members, executive members and officers to the meeting. Good afternoon, everyone. Jade, do we have any apologies, please?
Yes, thanks, Chair. We've had apologies from Councillor Peter Jones and also Councillor Price, because she's going to be a little bit late to the meeting today.
Thank you very much. 2 declarations of interest. Members, could I ask if any of you should have any declarations of interest in relation to today's reports, that you declare them now, or if they arise during the discussions, please indicate at that point. Thank you. 3rd, minutes. Members, do you have any points to raise in regard to the minutes of the previous meeting? If not, I will take them as agreed. All agreed. Action sheet. Rebecca, could you please update members on any actions outstanding?
Thank you, Chair. So there are 2 actions listed there on the action sheet, the first of which was with regards to requesting further information on the cost of in-house and independent foster placements. That information was circulated to the committee last week, so that has now been completed. And then the second action there is with regard to the responses to the recommendations from the last meeting. And again, you have had those previously. Chair.
Thank you very much. Item 5, update on progress of recommendations. Can I hand you over to Rebecca to introduce the update on recommendations report?
Thank you, Chair. So, since May 2024, the Children and Families Overview and Scrutiny Committee has made numerous recommendations, a high proportion of which have been accepted or considered for adoption by the Executive. It is sensible to reflect on to what extent recommendations have been embedded and acted as a catalyst for delivering service improvement. Please note that any recommendations that were originally rejected have already been removed from this monitor. Strategic Directors, Heads of Service and Executive Members are in attendance today for any questions on progress you may have. Also, to ensure the impact of scrutiny is properly evaluated, a summary of impact has been produced by the service areas against each of the scrutiny items, defining what impact was seen from your scrutiny activity. Please note you are not here to re-scrutinise these items, but rather to determine whether you are satisfied with progress in action in your recommendations. If you are satisfied that the recommendations have been actioned appropriately, they will be removed from further monitoring. However, if you are not satisfied with progress, then they will remain on the monitor for further updates. The updates run from May 2024 to March 2025. We have not included the updates on the recommendations from the last meeting of the committee, as that was in May, and that's too short a time period to be able to reflect on progress. But they will be considered in the next update that the committee receives. The updates you are here to consider today are on placement, availability and sufficiency, disabled children's services, youth offending service and social worker caseloads. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Members, if we turn to Appendix 1, first item on there is the report we have received for placement, availability and sufficiency. Do any members have any questions or comments?
Chair, I do. It's Janet. Have we currently got any children out of county?
Yes, Councillor Jones, we do. Off the top of my head, I couldn't tell you how many. I don't know whether Jacqueline would have those figures to hand. If we haven't got it to hand, we can obviously provide you with that information. But we do have a number that are out of county.
Thanks, Jason. Thanks, Chair.
No worries. Anyone else? So are we satisfied with the progress that's been made in action in the recommendations of our committee?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Item 2, the Disabled Children's Services. Members, any questions or comments? No. Can't see any hands up. Thank you. Item 3, Youth Offending Service. Councillor Watkins. Councillor Williams, sorry.
It was just a practical thing, possibly just a little oversight, but one of the ones didn't actually have a RAG rating on it. It was recommendation 2. Unless I'm misreading it, didn't actually have a RAG rating on it. No, the committee welcomed the work of the Youth Offending Service in collaboration, etc., etc.
That should be a green, looking at the commentary
Is it?
on the slide.
It should be.
Yeah.
So we've got comments. So yeah, it should have been rated green.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's probably me misreading. Okay, that's fine. Probably me misreading it. Thanks.
Thank you for that. Are we satisfied that there's been progress made in action in those recommendations? Thank you very much. This is item 4 now. Social worker caseloads. Do members have any questions or comments? Well, there are no questions or comments. Are we all satisfied with the progress made in action in the recommendations? Yes. Thank you very much. Moving on to item agenda 6, update reports. Rebecca, can I ask you to introduce this report to members?
Thank you, Chair. So yes, item 6 is the update report setting out progress against adopted action plans. The Council's assurance processes require each relevant overview and scrutiny committee to receive an annual progress update against proposals for improvement and recommendations received from our external regulators. Following scrutiny, recommendations and other comments made by you as a committee relating to these updates will then be reported back to the Governance and Audit Committee to fulfil those assurance purposes. We ask that as a committee you ensure that you are satisfied that appropriate progress has been made towards external regulators' proposals for improvement, and if not, to challenge the officers present as to the reasons for insufficient progress. Equally, should you decide appropriate progress has been made and all proposals actioned, as a committee you could agree to remove them from further annual monitoring. Can I please assure members that although the removal of the referrals from this annual monitoring report, it does not exclude these issues from further scrutiny by you as a committee, should you raise them as a priority item in your visioning session. Can I also remind members that you are not here to scrutinise the item in itself, only to focus on the updates on action in the recommendations as set out. There is one set of updates contained within the appendix, and that is with regards to the CIW, HIW and SDIN report on how our healthcare, education and children's services supporting the mental health needs of children and young people in Wales. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. So, referring to Appendix 1, can I now invite you to ask any questions or comments on the set of updates contained in Appendix 1? So, members, are you satisfied with the progress made in action in the recommendations, or do you propose we continue to monitor progress for another 12 months?
Yeah.
Okay, we agree? Well, I think that concludes our the first part of the meeting for today. So it just leaves us to set a date for the next meeting. The next formal meeting of the Children, Families, Overview and Scrutiny Committee will take place on Wednesday, the 8th of October at 10 a.m. Members, can I please remind you that the visioning session to determine the committee's work programme for the year ahead is taking place straight after this meeting has concluded. Thank you all for attending. I now close this part of the meeting.